Hey, what's up YouTube? So today's video is going to be a review for you guys for this new desktop tank I just picked up. This is the Fluval Spec V freshwater kit, as you can see from the box. This is the second generation of this tank, and really the main difference between this one and the previous one is, as you can see at the top right, there is a new and improved LED. It's 7K, and Fluval claims it's 20% brighter, so it should be much more suitable for growing plants. If you guys remember the previous version, it was pretty much panned as being unsuitable to grow anything. So we'll go ahead and show you guys the light and the tank and some of the other things. So before we begin, I'll show you guys the dimensions. It is 20.5 inches long, although part of that is the filtration compartment on the side. It's 7.5 inches wide and then almost 12 inches tall. So it's about 5 US gallons if nothing's in the tank, obviously with displacement of, substrate and rock and stuff like that. It's not quite 5 gallons, but it really is a nice tank. So we'll go ahead and get into it in the fastest unboxing ever. Ta-da! It's actually been set up for quite a while, maybe a few weeks. So yeah, so here is the tank. It is a nice slim profile, which I really think is nice for a desktop. As you can see, it's on my computer desk, and yeah, it fits the area nicely. So this being a review, we'll go over the good and the bad of the tank. We'll start with the bad and get that out of the way. So in the previous version, there were 3 things wrong with the tank. The LED wasn't suitable to grow anything. There was a problem with the filtration portion, and then the pump. So they fixed the LED, which we'll get into later, but unfortunately the other 2 problems remain, which is kind of disappointing. You would hope they would have fixed it, because I'm sure a bunch of other hobbyists complain, not just me. So the first problem I have with the tank is there's a hole right here, which although is covered up, there is a hole. Presumably, I guess, to draw water along the bottom and then suck it in the filtration compartment. The flaw with that, though, is it then bypasses the rest of the chemical media and biomedia in here in order for the filtration to work properly and clean the water. So it's not something I want, unfortunately. So the remedy is you just cover it up. That's just a piece of plastic that I super glued on there. So easily fixable, but yeah, I want the water going through the top part of the teeth in the overflow, mechanically filtered by sponges, and then there's some Purigen in here and some biomedia at the bottom. I want it to have to go through all that before it can, then be pumped back into the tank. So that's one problem I had with it, but it's easily fixable. And then the other problem is the pump, which most people have complained about in the past. Unfortunately, this compartment is only about 2 inches by 2 inches, so you really can't fit much of anything back there. It's hard to see, but this is the pump right here, and it's just underpowered, to be honest. Some people claim it's fine. In my experience, it is underpowered. So to remedy that, you just have to add another, wave maker or power head in the tank. I'm using a Corellia Nano 240, and yeah, so that's doing its job. You can see I now have good surface agitation. It's not too crazy, and yeah, that supplements the flow in the tank. So it seems to be in the sweet spot right now. I had it a little bit lower, but it was blowing the substrate around and disturbing some of the plants. So it seems to be in the optimal position now, and everything's working out. So those are really the only 2 problems I had with the tank. So now let's get to the changes that I think are for the better. The first one being the light. Most people panned that last light. It was blocky. It actually sagged towards the far end because it wasn't quite strong enough to support the weight. This light is improved. It's a nice unibody aluminum form factor. It attaches to the back of the tank, as you can see, it's got like a plastic bracket, and then a screw locks it into place. So it's got 1 power cord, and the way to turn it on is pretty cool. It's like a touchpad almost. It's not a button, it's a touchpad. So right now we've got all the whites and the blues on. In order to switch it, you just have to touch it. So that turns on turns off lights and just leaves the moonlights, which you can't really tell because room lights are on, but it really is pretty when it's just those on and it's darker. And then another touch turns it off, and to turn it back on, just touch it again. So that's pretty cool. To be honest, I don't know if it works with a timer. Probably should have checked that before I did the video. But I guess I can show you guys that later. So, but yeah, it really is a pleasing spectrum. I believe it's 7.5 watts. 7K light, and from this view you can see that it's completely perpendicular to the tank. There's no sag whatsoever. It's not heavy enough to do that anymore while being brighter. So I really do like the light. The only other major change, like I told you guys, was this used to be frosted glass. It's now black vinyl. So that's it. But all in all, it really is a nice tank. It actually also comes with a top. This is an acrylic top, but I don't run that. It does mean you have to top off the tank a little bit more, but it's not a big deal. So probably the main thing I like about this tank, in addition to the light being much improved, is it's dead silent. I mean, even with the addition of this Corelli nano pump, you can't hear a single thing, which is obviously what I want because it's in my bedroom, and I don't want to be disturbed by noise or anything that would have me have problems going to sleep. So yeah, everything's looking good. For livestock, there's 2 glow light Danios in here. There's my beta in the back right there, that's Spartacus. And then there's an Otocinclus. So plants is just Crypt Parva. These are a notoriously slow grower, but they seem to be doing all right. I think the LED's doing their job. I've seen some new growth. So hopefully that'll carpet soon. And yeah, that's about it. So any of you guys want to pick this tank up, I'll put the box back up so you can see it. I actually picked this up on sale from Petco for 75 bucks, which I thought was actually a pretty good deal for a clean looking all-in-one tank. I've seen them go as high as 100, but yeah, I got it for 75. And yeah, overall I really do like the tank. One point to note, a lot of people actually were converting these tanks to nano reef tanks. They were doing saltwater in them. So what Fluval did split the line. There's now the Fluval Spec line, which is more toward the freshwater, and then there's a Fluval Evo line geared towards saltwater. So they have a 5-gallon and I believe a 12-gallon version. But for the 5-gallon version, it's the exact same dimensions, but they switched the LED spectrum to, I think, closer to a 14K. So anyways, that's the end of the vid. Hope you guys appreciate it. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'll try to get to you guys and answer them for you. And yeah, that's all I got. So thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good day.